Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is an energy reading and I'm going to share my psychic insights regarding the recent memorial service for Charlie Kirk. Some of you might have seen that. It was quite a long service, I believe, about 4.5 hours. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw quite a fair bit of it to read the energy and get a feel for what was going on. And I've got to say that overall I felt there was a lot of spiritual teaching in that service in terms of things that we were shown. We're watching people play their parts at the moment in the world, and they're teaching us things, they're showing us things as well. That's the way you've got to look at things, and also trust your gut instinct. That feeling within when you see various things out there. There's a reason I'm saying this, you'll see later on in the reading why that is. So one of the first things that led me to think spiritual teaching was when Charlie Kirk spoke on camera, and I thought it was so powerful when she forgave the person who shot Charlie. She was, I feel, teaching people to forgive, which I've often said about in my readings. It's very important, because if you hold on to stuff, then that's what breeds negativity, low vibrational energies, anger, hatred, a lot of the things that we're seeing out there. Forgiveness is very important to release yourself, release your sort of pent up feelings, let's say, not hold on to it. So for those of you who are doubting Erica, because you've maybe been swayed by clips you've seen out there that the dark forces have implanted, by the way, saying she's this, she's that. Before you do that, go back to the memorial service and just watch her and tap into your heart. What does your heart and soul tell you? So anyway, that's what I felt regarding Erica and her energy. I was seeing genuine sadness in her as well. I wouldn't say this if I didn't feel it. I can read energy, so that's what I'm feeling. It was also quite poignant. There was a clip of Trump and Musk, and they reconciled, they shook hands. Some of you might have seen that. So again, some teaching there, showing people, if you can, reconcile your differences with others. It's okay for us to have differences, different opinions, which we're seeing in relation to Charlie Kirk. I'm seeing it online. But you can still be friends, still reconcile afterwards. You can have different opinions to your friends, to your colleague, people you meet. But let's have healthy debates, which is what Charlie Kirk did as well. I've seen some of his debates since the reading I did on him. I've seen a couple of debates he had where he spoke about the Bible, and he had an amazing memory. I mean, he knew chapters and verses off the top of his head, whereas the people he was debating with had it all written down, in terms of what they wanted to say. So he knew his stuff. He knew about the Bible. So clearly he was quite religious. But anyway, there's obviously different opinions out there. You're entitled to your opinion, so am I. But let's still be at peace. This channel is about love, light and peace, not the opposite. So in terms of the overall energy of the service, I felt it was positive and high vibration. There was music, people spoke in memory of Charlie. It was beautiful. That's my opinion. I feel that some people out there are questioning it. In fact, I've seen someone in a video who was questioning it. They said, wow, it was, why was it so high vibing? That was, I think, their words. And it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because society's been programmed that funerals, memorial services should be a very sombre affair, everyone wearing black, which is really dark. And by the way, to wear black. And everyone in a sad energy. Well, as I said about what that does, that attracts dark spirits. Why do you think funerals are done in the way they are? So again, even from the service, they were showing us that memorial services are exactly that. They're to remember someone for what they did in this world, no matter what it was that they did as well, and to celebrate their life. So that's what I feel from it in terms of the energy. I know there are different opinions, as I said, out there. In case you don't believe me, let's just pull a card. These are energy cards. Wow, everyone, okay. You probably saw that just dropped out. I was going to say, let's pull a card to read the energy. What Spirit is telling us was the energy of that service. And isn't that interesting? We got woman holding a heart. And I was saying about tapping into your heart. In particular, when Erica was speaking, female, here, she was trying to shine her light and show you how to open your heart, because there are many cold hearts out there in the world. Wow, I'm getting emotions as I say this. Yeah, it's like people who have not, they're unable to express themselves. And so it comes out the wrong way, and because they've closed their hearts, there's no compassion in a lot of people out there, but there is in some. So the energy of that was to share love. The energy of the service, Spirit is telling us with this card, is that it was sharing love with the world and hoping that people will open their hearts in terms of what happened to Charlie. Now this in fact leads me on to something I wanted to talk about regarding some comments on my Charlie Kirk reading. Quite a few people wrote they think he's racist in the comments. Now, as I said, you're entitled to your own opinion. As long as there's no hate or offensive words, then I allow those comments. However, you've got to read between the lines with comments. If someone just writes, he was a racist, what are they not saying at the end of that sentence? He was a racist, therefore he deserved what happened to him, I think is what people are really trying to say. So those people have cold hearts, those that are doing that. I just wanted to call that out. I have seen online as well people publicly saying that they believe he deserved to be taken from this realm. People are celebrating him being taken, assassinated, essentially, which I think is shocking. That is very sad to see in this world. Where is humanity? What has happened to this world? There's something I was guided to do by Spirit before this reading. For any of you who feel strong emotions when you think of Charlie, and you're hearing me talk, what are you feeling? Are you feeling strong emotions? Are you thinking about him in a certain way that's quite negative? Let me ask you to do something. It's up to you if you do it, obviously. Either look at a photo of Charlie or just imagine him. Close your eyes, imagine him in your mind's eye. Now strip away all of the thoughts and opinions you have of him, all the things you've heard. Whatever that is, just strip it all away. And just see him in your mind as a man. A man who had a wife and children. And that man was assassinated. Now, tap into your heart again, like I said earlier. Now, how do you feel? What does your heart say to you? That's all I ask you to do. If you feel compassion, feelings of sorrow for what happened to him, then you are of the light, I would say. You're a compassionate being. If you feel any other sort of emotions, such as hate, or you're thinking, oh, he was this, he was that, then I'd say that you have some healing that you need to do within. To even be thinking of that before you think about the fact that this is an innocent man who was assassinated. I'm feeling a lot of emotions here as I say this, because I'm a compassionate person, and my heart goes out to his wife, his children, his loved ones, other people out there who've been affected, who are grieving their own loved one, and this has brought up that grief from them. Well, I'm just going to pause the camera a moment, everyone, because I've got a bit of emotion here. Okay, everyone, I've just grounded myself. So I'm not telling you what to do, what to think. I'm just asking you to tap into your heart, open your heart, warm your heart. Does your heart feel warm or cold? I have seen some public opinions on the service. A couple of videos have popped up on my YouTube feed, and I've clicked on. If a video title interests me, I'll click on it. Now, I've got to say, some of the people speaking I agreed with. I found it very moving in terms of what they said, and some I didn't agree with. But you see, I can watch a video of someone I don't agree with, because I find it interesting to hear other opinions and sort of reflect afterwards on why I think they think that. Sometimes it makes me open my mind up to other possibilities, that kind of thing. However, I don't then leave a comment saying, oh, you should think this, you should think that. I think he was whatever, which I have seen on my video and on other videos. As I said about the judgment that I've seen, and hate. I feel some people misunderstood the service in terms of what they were being shown. And they were clearly not listening to their soul. And I did see a very high-vibing man speaking on camera about the service and how he was moved. He even videoed himself crying. I found that so moving. I thought, wow, yeah, he saw the beauty and the teaching in it. He was a spiritual being. Yeah, I saw also someone saying, wow, how could they put together a service in such a short amount of time? Well, why not? Anything's possible, I would say. So, again, just try and think outside the box in terms of these things. And I think anything's possible as well in the hands of the divine. Regarding the comments on my Charlie Kirk reading, there was one that really stood out to me that I'd just like to mention. Someone said they were appalled to hear me say that Charlie Kirk was a chosen one. They then went on to say that I should go off and watch videos by a pastor who's sharing his opinions with everyone about what he thinks Charlie Kirk was. Well, the person that left that comment sounded like a dictator to me, trying to tell me what I should think, feel and say. I would never say that to any of you. I'm here to guide. I always say, trust your intuition, take what resonates, leave the rest. It's up to you to trust what you feel. I'm just here to guide. So just be mindful of saying things like that as well. I don't feel that's right, personally, to do that. And I did not go off and watch that pastor, by the way. I have no need to, because I'm psychic and Spirit guides me. But Spirit said to me, that pastor is corrupt, has been infested, was the word that came to me, by dark spirits, and they're sharing things that are not of the light. That's happened to people out there. Watch my last reading, if you haven't seen it, my predictions where I said that. I said the veil has completely fallen, in fact, between our realm and the spirit realm, and some people are getting infected. It's like they've got parasites, dark parasites within them. They're sharing really dark stuff, and eventually their body won't be able to take it anymore and they will perish. So we're going to see more of that out there, as I said before, in the collective. It's all coming to light in this way. I'm also being guided to say that there's a difference between judgment and opinion. Now, obviously you might have an opinion and it could be based on fact, but in terms of judgment, I think that a lot of people judge. I'm seeing that in the collective, actually, more judgment. But a lot of people judge based on things they don't know. Like, you could judge me. You don't know anything about me and what I've been through, just as an example. And I think people are judging Charlie Kirk based on false information that's out there. I feel there are some clips that have been put out there and written content that's been misconstrued, manipulated to show you one thing when it's not actually that at all. So just be mindful of what you watch, because there are dark forces out there, or people who are being influenced by dark forces around them to do this, to create confusion in the collective and make them think one thing rather than tap into their heart. Back to this again, and your soul. What does that tell you? That's where you'll get the truth. And if you connect with God and what comes to you, rather than all the different things you see out there that could be really confusing you, that's what they want. That's what they've wanted for years, by the way, in terms of our history. Spirit's also guided me to say the light and dark right now are in open conflict. That's what we're seeing. in terms of all the things that I've told you about and that we're seeing in the world. We're seeing some people with an open heart, like Erica, trying to show people and teach people to open their hearts, to forgive, to grieve openly as well, like she was. She was crying on camera. But then we've got the dark, who are trying to create fear, worry, hatred, misaligned thoughts, misaligned feelings. All of that obviously has been going on already in the world, but I really feel that the passing of Charlie Kirk has really brought a lot of this to light. As I said in my Charlie Kirk reading, it was prophetic. I really feel there's no longer any civilised political discourse as well out there. We're just seeing this new world. I often feel what really has happened to this world. People who are not connected to their souls and their hearts anymore. And people who believe that anyone who disagrees with them deserves to be killed. That's what this has brought out, this assassination. The people that did it didn't like that Charlie Kirk was talking about God. He was a man of faith. They didn't want that. As I said in my reading, they thought he was getting too big. So they said, right, we don't like this. He doesn't say what we want to get out there. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take him out. And then you've got these dark energies out there who are celebrating, as I said before, what happened to him because they didn't agree with him, with his beliefs and whatever else. I'm sorry, everyone, but that's wrong. As I said, he was a human being. Let's just go back to the core of who we are. We're all humans here. Spiritual beings having a human experience. But what about loving our neighbour, as it says in the Bible? As I said, we can disagree with each other, but we should not go to the extreme of taking a life and celebrating that as well. I've been seeing this for quite a long time, actually, the lack of humanity beyond this year. This is like going back years. As an example I have that I'm just going to share with you all, that I experienced a couple of years ago, where I just saw no humanity in someone. So I walked into a shop, I'm here in the UK, and I could hear a man screaming out. It sounded like he was in pain. So I walked towards where the man was, and he was lying face down on the ground, and there was a security guard straddling him, holding the man's arms behind his back, pulling them so much that the man was in pain, screaming out. Now, being the compassionate person that I am, I walked over because I felt concerned for the man. The first thing I said was, "Are you okay?" to the man. And then I said to the security guard, "Why not give this man some dignity and take him out the back and do whatever it is you need to do?" Do you know what he said to me? "Go off and do your shopping." So there you go. That was an example of someone who, okay, was doing his job, but he had no compassion for the man. He was hurting him. He clearly thought, well, he's a criminal, so he deserves this. He deserves no dignity. And to me, because I spoke up, which I do, I don't have fear. Again, he thought, just go away. He said, go away. So I'm just sharing that because I thought about that example last night when I was thinking about the lack of humanity that I have really seen in the world. And as I said, it doesn't matter who. I think I said to the man, that's right, I said to him, to the guard, it doesn't matter what this man has done. He deserves dignity and respect and not to be harmed. And I would say the same also for Charlie Kirk, again. Going back to what I was talking about, you might think he was racist, you might think whatever else you think, whatever the other views are out there. But he still deserves some dignity and respect, compassion, love, in terms of what happened to him. So anyway, I just wanted to share that as an example. There are others, I've been seeing it for quite a long time. The Bible did speak about people having cold hearts in end times. We are in end times, by the way. So some of you might want to get your Bibles out if you haven't read it and just look at that and see what's to come. Spirit's just guiding me to say a little bit more in terms of what I just shared about my own experience. That some of you are being guided to do the same if you notice lack of humanity in others out there. Call them out on it. Speak up. Share the light. Do it with peace, obviously, to try and teach them. But, to try and help them open their hearts in terms of what they're doing. So I just wanted to say that. I'm also being guided to just talk a little bit more about judgment again. People that judge others. People that have judged Charlie. Some people are very quick to judge others. And that means they're not judging themselves, i.e. they're not reflecting on themselves and what might be going on within for them. If people are seeing something in another that they dislike or hate even, they're probably being shown a part of themselves that they dislike or hate. And that could be what's bringing up these emotions in some people. Just wanted to share that as well. So I'm now being guided to just pull some oracle cards for the collective. Any other messages now from Spirit that you'd like me to share with everyone? Thank you for being here. Feel free to leave your comments, but remember to be kind, loving and peaceful in your comments. You're entitled to share your opinion, but just don't cross the line, is all I'm saying. Comments are moderated. You might see your comment below the video, but it won't go out to the public until it's approved. Wow. This is really fitting. It says awaken spirit desire to change. This card is showing me people in the spirit who are seeking freedom, who could be feeling very confined by society as it is. Also, this is showing me that we need to be aware of the fact that there's a connection between our physical body and our spiritual self, as I said about tapping into your heart before. seeing the bigger picture. You know, it's not just what you see and hear. What do you feel? Some of you might want to try awakening your spiritual gifts, changing in that sense. You might find that you're getting very impatient with social media, the news, that always shows us the world's in balance. You're being guided to be a humanitarian, to be of the light, share the light, speak up, as I said before. And be, you know, have a healthy lifestyle as well. Seeing this person like receiving downloads as well, clarity. As I said before, disconnect from the media, social media, and whatever else, other people. Go within for a while, meditate, and just see what comes to you. You might even get signs when you go out. Signs in nature, very common. Number synchronicities, you might hear a word. As long as you're doing it of the light, you know, so sort of light a candle, for example, to make sure you are surrounded by angels, beings of white light. That's the voice you want to listen to, not those other voices out there. It's really interesting that came out. Anything else? Yeah. Wow, everyone. It says hidden realms. Create conscious awareness, which is what I was just saying. About those realms, about angels who are around you, but also other spirits that are around you. Because there's a skull there, so I'm getting that's a dark spirit. Here's you. It's about being aware of what's around you that you don't see, but you feel. Gut instinct. When you hear someone speak, what does your gut tell you? You know, is that person you're listening to of the light? Or are they sharing misinformation, for example? So it's very important at the moment that you protect your energy, bless your home, which, as I said, I did share how to do that in my last reading. And just be aware of what's going on, this spiritual battle. As I said before, about the light and dark being in open conflict. We're seeing it in this card. And you might get signs of this as well, that you see. As I said, about people you speak with. You might speak with someone and suddenly it looks like they're possessed. Things like that. Could be giving you signs. Now also we've got 4, 4, 4. If you keep seeing that number, it can show you that angels are around you. 4 is about stability, it's like pillars. So you've got these pillars around you, support. You can also call upon your angels to protect you, guide you, protect your home, surround you. Archangel Michael is one you could call upon to keep you and your surroundings protected. This card is also number 20, and in tarot that's a number of judgment. With that I'm just hearing, you know, Judgment Day by the divine. Do you know that everything you do, every thought, action, behaviour, thing you say, whatever it might be, is recorded by angels? It's interesting, angels have come out. Because angels are around you to protect you, watch over you. But they also record things you do. And this is where judgment comes in from God. I'm seeing this like God here. In terms of them, what happens to you, which path you take. So just be mindful of what you put out there. I would say, as well, what you're putting out into the world. Is it of the light? Is it judging others and not judging yourself, not healing? If anything, I would say with the heart that came out, try to do some inner healing. If you have felt some emotions in this reading, and if you feel very strongly about, your opinion of Charlie Kirk, for example, you want to say it, you want to get it out there, you're feeling anger, rage, whatever it might be, that's telling you something. That's telling you you're not at peace within. So it's time to go within, reflect, try and change, as it says on that card there. It takes time, but you can do it. Try heart chakra meditation music, 5 to 8 hertz. Do things to ground yourself. Movement, creative things, very good. Getting out into nature. All of these things to like move that stagnant energy that could be there within you, especially if you've been through a very difficult time in your past. Trauma, for example, can be stored in the body, and it can be very difficult for people who've experienced trauma to verbalize it. And so that could be what some people are holding on to. It could be trauma and you don't realize it's there in your body. So if you find it difficult to say it, then try and do something. Whatever it is that works for you. You'll all have a gift that will help you. It could be playing a musical instrument, dancing, yoga, singing, I'm getting. And after you know what's interesting, as I said singing, I suddenly felt this relief come from me, because I sometimes sing. I'm not a great singer by all means, but I'm sometimes guided to just burst out into song, and also dance. And I know for me, dance is a really great way to express yourself, and you feel this relief afterwards, spiritual relief, like it leaves your body, which we're seeing in this card. That's really interesting. You'll feel it. And if you can do that, if you feel that, then you're on the right track. Keep doing it. Keep doing you. Keep showing yourself love as well, to then be able to show others love. If you feel hate towards another, you possibly feel hate for yourself, self-loathing, which would be something that's trapped maybe in your body, as I said, as an example. Wow, that's really interesting that came out as guidance. So I really hope that's helped those of you who may need that. I'm going to now leave that there. Really interesting reading though. As I said, there's more to all of this than meets the eye. It's spiritual teaching, spiritual battle happening out there as well. So just be mindful of that. Thank you so much for watching this reading. It's very much appreciated. Leave a comment if you wish, as I said. Share your own thoughts. Leave a like. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more readings from me. I'll see you all very soon. Sending peace, love and light to you all.